When we look at men's mental health right now, men are dropping out of education, dropping out of the labor force, a mental illness on the rise, high suicide for men, addiction for men, a lot of rough stuff going on for men's mental health. As a man in this profession, how do you conceptualize what's going on with men today?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with these narratives. From my view, a more fervent form of feminist narrative has taken root in the field and in the culture at large. Historically, there was this critique that was levied against feminists in the past, let's just say. Male and female feminists alike, oftentimes I think the conflation is made and people think of it as gender specific, but it's a set of beliefs about how the world sets itself out in terms of gender disparities. There used to be this critique that feminism was anti-male. And I think historically that was a unfair diagnosis or a critique for the majority of those who are involved, particularly in first and second wave feminism. When you fast forward to this most recent cultural advent, which I often refer to just as modern wave feminism, you get these narratives that really do sound more anti-male in nature. And you have to wonder, with those ideas being accepted more in the culture of the field, if that will have an impact on clinicians' abilities to work with men and women, male and female clinicians alike. I think what happens in any group dynamic where you get a little bit too much homogeneity is you run the risk of homogenous narratives becoming kind of ubiquitous across the group. And while I certainly have seen men benefit from working with female clinicians, and I think I always will, we do have to take a step back and ask ourselves if that homogeneity has in any way attracted a certain level of error or risk with regards to more intense versions of anti-male rhetoric. And I do think that is something that we should discuss and look into as a field. Right now, individuals like Corey Clark have been researching things like the feminization effect in research and academia. And I think those kinds of pursuits are worth trying to understand. Do men and women approach the same issues in different ways? I think by and large, across a group of people, a large group, we might. Individuals also have a wide degree of variation in terms of how they see the world and how they approach issues in the world. And we should, in my view, start to capitalize a little bit more on that, the variation in the ways that we can see the world, regardless of our background or our grouping, so that we can really bolster what I often refer to as the psychic immune system of the group.